Hello, hello. Hello, collective. I'm still alive. Despite the odds, despite everything, I'm still here. You wouldn't believe how many times life tried to take me out in one way or another, so I figure I'm here for a reason. I will do a check-in. Oh, welcome new subscribers. Got a whole heap of new subscribers the other day. Apparently, lots of people resonate with Jesus still after all these years. So welcome new subscribers. Hello, thank you, and thank you old subscribers and anyone who gives me a like or helps the channel along. So I'm in the church grounds at the moment. I don't know if you can see over there. I'll just push the camera up a little bit. That's the church behind me, just there. It's very. I was going to do you a reading by the river, but the grass was really long and I felt like the brown snakes might be there. And then I came across some bats and I filmed the bats for you. But anyway, this reading's been coming for days now. I actually got up at 3 o'clock this morning to do this reading, and I've had heaps of headaches and things trying to stop me from doing the reading. But now I'm here, I feel better, so I presume that means it's time to go. So I cleared all the decks and the books and everything. And the question for you that the sage wanted me to focus on was what to focus on for the next month. So that's your question. Hopefully you can hear me over there. I'll just speak really loudly because the camera's like way over there. Anyway, so that's the question. What to focus on for the next month. So dear sage, for the highest good of all, and particularly for the highest good of the person who clicked on the video, what do they need to know about what to focus on for the next month? I might just light this candle here. I don't know if it'll stay on because it's a bit breezy, but we can at least try. There we go. I did pick up on a few things this morning. I got that Mother Earth is very, very pissed at the moment. She's not impressed with all the poison and the land clearing and the bombing and everything. It's just, she's not happy. These humans who keep disrespecting her are really cruising for a bruising. She can't take it anymore. She can't. It's like it's crunch time now. Anyone who doesn't learn to respect her is in grave danger. A lot of us have been trying to warn people for some time, and they won't listen, and they don't take the warnings seriously. They don't realise how connected we are, and it's pens down time. Those who have not been respectful will pay the price sooner or later. They need to start respecting nature at the very least, and move towards respecting animals as well if they're going to survive these earth changes. I just woke up with that this morning. It was really clear. And then I saw in the news that the Philippines had been smashed by a tornado, I think it was. I'm so sorry to any Filipino friends who have been affected by that. Kamusta ka? Anyone from the Philippines, I'm sorry. I think my people who watch this are actually all right. It seems that the storm goes around us for the most part, usually. Nevertheless, it can affect people around us and things that we care about potentially. Dear Sage, what do we want the collective to focus on for the next month? Let's get into this without any further ado. Okay, so we've got 2 tails and a head, so that's a moving, it's a moving, yeah, oh, sorry, it's not a moving, no, it's two heads, I didn't see properly. Two heads and a tail. 3, 6, 8, so it's a yin line, I beg your pardon. Got a yin line to start with. Alright. The lid doesn't want to stay on. For the highest good, dear sage of the collective, what to focus on for the next month? We might ask whether it's a timeless reading or a reading for after I finish throwing the coins. Whether it's timeless reading or it's specific to the day that I happen to be recording it for the month ahead. What does the person who clicked on this video need to focus on? Okay, tails, tails, head, that's a yang line. For the highest good of the person who clicks on this video, what do they need to focus on for the next month? 3 heads, that's a moving yang line. Okay, so there's a bit of action in the 4th place. That's the hinge point. What to focus on for the next month for the person who clicks on the video, dear sage. Okay. Tails, tails, heads. That's a that's a yang line. What to focus on for the next month for the person who clicks on the video. Okay, 2 heads and a tail. So 3, 6, 8. Okay, you have greatness in excess, hexagram number 28. Right, and it changes to hexagram 48. I think, yes. I'll just change that for you and hold it up so you can see. And hexagram 48 is the well. So all's well that ends well, but it could be a bit of a intense period just coming up. So there we have it. Hexagram 28 is your original hexagram, which is greatness in excess, and hexagram 48 is the second one, which is the well. All right. Now, Sage, is this heads is its timeless reading, tails it's the month specific from the date of publish. So heads is whenever the person clicks on the video, it's a timeless reading. Or if it's tails, then it's specific, date specific. Dear Sage, about this reading, is it date specific or is it timeless? Heads is timeless, tails is date specific. 2 heads and a tail, so it's pretty timeless. It's mostly timeless. Okay, so it's, I'll just write that there so I remember when I upload. Timeless. Okay, so if this video is attracted to you by the algorithm, that means then whenever you get this video, then that's the time that it's relevant to. So if you get this in 3 months' time, it'll still be relevant because it's when it appears in front of you. All right, so Sage, is there another hexagram to go with this? Yes or no? Yes. Okay, so the next hexagram, let's do it quickly. Okay, 2, 4, 6. So that's a moving in line. Two, 2, 4, 7. That's a yang line stable. That's a yang line again. 2, 4, 6. That's another moving in line. So the second situation has got more dynamic to it. Okay, 3, 6, 8. That's an unmoving in line. Okay, and that's a yang line moving. So then you get hexagram 18. What's with all the 8s? Collective. So your next one is hexagram 18, which is repairing the damage or repairing the decay. And then what does it change into? I'll have to do it above because I've not left much room. It changes into, oh, taming power of the great. Well, that's good. Okay, so there's a bit of action happening here, collective. Yeah. Okay, 34. I'll just hold them up for you. So that's your second hexagram there, number 18. And it changes to 34. So 18 is repairing the decay, and 34 is great power. So it looks like there's a couple of waves of, like, if I was to do it in a timeline thing, it's kind of like there's a fair bit of pressure at the start, and then things go smoothly for a while, and then there's a need to repair something, and then you end up in a position of great power. So it's like a sort of 4-step thing. I'm not sure if these are happening simultaneously or in a sequence. Okay, Sage, heads is simultaneous and tails is in a sequence. Okay, we got tails, so it's a timeline. Right, so the first thing that happens, what to focus on this month is, what is it? Taming power of the great, or greatness in excess. Okay, greatness in excess is like when it's just all too much. It's not necessarily all too much on the outside of you, although it could be. It's not necessarily saying this here. It's whether it's the pressure's coming from within or without. But there's so much coming at you. You really just need to keep things simple. It can just be mental. Like you might just have a lot of decisions to make potentially. Whatever it is, it gives you that feeling of excessive pressure, which kind of explains to me, in a way, my headaches today. That's kind of the sort of thing that can happen. It's like trying to squeeze the things through a toothpaste tube, or like you've got a funnel and you've got a lot going in and it's got to go through a small point. It's that sort of a feeling sometimes. That's what it can feel like. The structure of the hexagram is actually, I'll just hold it sideways for you. It's like the roof of a building, and on either end, because they use all sorts of visual references in the I Ching, on either end, these beams are weak, so they're going to collapse, but in the middle it's solid. So it's like you've got to pull your energy into the middle because the outside's weak. Look, I just woke up and I really felt how wobbly Babylon is. So that's not surprising, you know, like there's a lot of people who are really struggling with bills and housing issues and crazy things going on with their governments and stuff like that. And the pressure mentally too, because there's not much you can really depend on anymore. A lot of the old structures have become unreliable. And old belief systems don't really fit anymore. People are waking up to all sorts of levels of gaslighting, whether it be in their individual communities, their personal relationships, or whether it's more institutional, like a commercial enterprise or the government or the military-industrial complex. There's just so much gaslighting that you can really only trust your intuition and your own sense of things. Because even people trying to give you information with the best intent may not have it quite right. Like, everyone's seeing kind of a different angle of the picture, and realizing there's been a lot of lies. So a lot of people who are supposed to protect us are not doing their jobs there. I'm on a bit of a rave, aren't I? It's just that whole thing of like corruption everywhere. So you're going to have to rely on yourself is the basic message of hexagram 28, that there are times you just have to stand alone. And you get moving line 4, which basically means that the situation is braced, like it almost collapses, but it doesn't, sort of thing. Like it's like you're straining with your bills and you get just enough money to cover them. That's the kind of vibe of that moving line. But I'll read you from this book, which the sage told me to read to you from. Okay, so yeah, so basically you're going from hexagram 28 to hexagram 48. And hexagram 48 is like, the easiest way to say it is all is well, and you get to draw from the well. And the well has got the fresh water in it. When it's not got any moving lines like that, the well is pure and clean, and it's available to everyone. So there's a universal source that you can draw from that will give you succor, that will give you provision, nourishment, you know, whatever you need to get by. So you're going through a time of a squeeze, but your roof will be braced. What, you know, the thing that you need to hold yourself up, you're going to get just what you need just at the right time. Even though you may have to sort of act on faith a bit, you can know that it's all going to work out well, even though you may have to stand alone for a minute. Oh, I did pull 2 cards before I started too, for the overall flavour of what my collective was going through. And I got Pellinor and the Sweet Lady, which is bittersweet farewell, which is all about a goodbye. You don't like having to say goodbye to someone you really love, and you don't want to say goodbye, but you just have to. But it's also about reuniting with that person. And I really got a feeling of animals when I was tuning into the card. Like, it is about lovers, so for some of you it's probably lovers. But I also got that feeling of animal companions. Maybe somebody's animal companion passed. It could also be parents, something like that. It could be someone actually passing is what I got. That's not what the card is. The card isn't about someone passing, but I did get that sadness that you get when a companion animal dies or something. Or you have to leave a place that you really love. But the card actually reassures you that you will be reunited with this person that you have to say goodbye to, that you don't want to say goodbye. Or it could be a place or a situation. Like, it's just a goodbye that it's a bittersweet farewell. You love them so much, or you love this place so much. You don't want to say goodbye, but you have to. You can't actually progress on your journey without saying goodbye. It's time now. The next stage of your journey beckons you. You're needed somewhere else to do something else. And same with the other person. They have other things they need to attend to. And in due course, you will be reunited. But at this point, it's just not easy to say goodbye, and you have to say goodbye. And it's sad and it's sweet at the same time. And then there was the issue of justice. And the basic gist is that justice will prevail. But there's a lot of stuff in this card about doing your own shadow work is essential. And if you've got something you need to say sorry for, own up for inside yourself, you need to do that for justice to prevail. You need to own your own part in the situation, whatever that may have been. The last reading was all about people who had been stolen from, and it was a lot about following pleasure and maybe being duped by a moment's pleasure or something, or flattery, or somebody trying to seduce you. Maybe somebody got you to ignore some red flags or something. So part of justice prevailing is owning your part in it, however small it may be. It may be just that you didn't trust your gut when you should have. But it's reassuring you that in due course justice does prevail as well, but it's not necessarily right away. There's a bit of patience sort of required in this. There's a period of pressure here before everything breaks into the open. But you will be braced. You're told that you will be given the support that you need, that this is all timely. So whatever's going on right now, this pressure, it's all as it should be. It's what needs to happen. So greatness and excess is what this book calls it. The marsh above the trees. The beam is weak. It will collapse. The superior man stands up alone and fearless. So it's, yeah, some structure in your life could collapse, but you will be all right. You will be braced. So you're going to survive this and all will be well for you. But you may have to be strong for a few minutes here. But if you know that it's all going to work out well, that will give you the strength to hold your ground in whatever way is needed. Okay. The superior man stands up, alone and fearless. He withdraws from the world without regret. Okay, so it's also a time for pulling your energy in. It's like the turtle going into the shell kind of thing. Success if you take action in any direction. Arthur, watch out! Dun-dun. The roof is about to cave in. The trigram, the marsh above Windwood, suggests unnatural weight. The most serious matters of your life have all overtaken you at the same time. So yeah, it's everything all at once. Everything seems to be happening at once. That's what it says. Unusually strong pressures from outside bear down on you. There is no way of holding off any one situation until the others are resolved. They are all coming to a head now. The times are momentous, threatening, desperate. Your problems cannot be solved. But you need not let them crush you. The tree survives the flood by standing straight beneath the floodwaters. So some of you could even be dealing with literal floodwaters, potentially. It does not give with the water. It does not bend familiarly to accommodate it. I'm sorry, I just can't say that. My mouth won't let me. Like the reeds and grasses, it meets the water head on, taking in all its force as obscured beneath the wave. The tree outlasts the flood. The tree remains essentially tree, while the water by rising denies its own nature, which is to seek its own level. You cannot avoid troubles, but if you remain confident, you will come through unscathed. So you're going to basically have to, it's like standing up to a tidal wave or something. You're just going to have to stand strong for a bit. Karma. So this is to do with relationships. So that was your practical 3D world there. This is more like your 3D relationships. Excuse me, I'm going to cough. You have too many emotional ties. Too many love relationships happening at the same time. All at once, you've gotten yourself involved in a number of demanding close situations, and you cannot handle them. All your separate affairs are about to overlap and erupt, so forewarned is forearmed. You should attempt, without anxiety or pride and with patience, to extricate yourself from all of them. So there's a directive there. If it's all too much, just pull away. You should attempt without anxiety or pride and with patience to extricate yourself from all of them. You cannot resolve anything. You cannot please anyone or forestall the forthcoming conflicts and outbursts, but you can, if it is not too late, withdraw from the whole thing. This could be karmics just going hell for leather. Potentially, if it's a situation of conflict, the whole fucking thing's just, excuse me for swearing, is just about to erupt, potentially. But you just like get out of the way of the blast kind of thing. It requires a spirit of resignation. Like there's just some fights you can't fight, you know, like you can't stop a tsunami, you can't stop a flood. You just have to prepare for it kind of thing. And this is on some kind of an emotional level. Okay, I'm going to cough again. Excuse me. So, you can withdraw from the whole thing. It requires a spirit of resignation bolstered by self-reliance and self-esteem. So, no promises of fun there, my friends. I'm not that kind of reader who's going to tell you everything's fine when it's not. It will be fine though, I can tell you that much from what it says here. It's like, brace yourself kind of thing. But you will be right. So, it's not to say weather doesn't happen. It's saying that you will endure this weather. And it could be, it's not necessarily literal weather. It's psychological possibly, or just in terms of commitments and stuff. Moksha. You are in a spiritual crisis. You are in anguish over many contradictory impulses. They are pulling you apart. You are filled with numerous strong beliefs that seem to cancel out one another, making all seem meaningless. Your path is blocked. You must drop all your conflicting beliefs. Forget your so-called understanding. Dispense with any traditional ritualistic practices. Like the tree in the flood, you must stand alone in the flood of karma, alone without metaphysics, among the illusions of sky and furniture. If you can renounce all the heavy, soul-searing, mind-expanding revelations you have had and stand physically in the world by yourself without them, the attainment of enlightenment will be infinitely closer than it is right now. Okay, so it's talking about basically a need to be practical. It's you might just have to do the needful, kind of, even if it's thrown at you by a bunch of karmics. It's just some days you just got to deal with it and get on with it, kind of, and get you a humble bowl of rice and go and eat on your own and wait for the flood to pass. So that's that. And then 48, I won't read the whole thing to you because it'll just be way too long, is basically about the well in the middle of the town, which is the source of water, and water is life. So when it's like this, it's a clear, cool spring from which you can drink. So basically, after this extreme sort of onslaught of things to deal with, you're just going to have to pull back and keep it real simple, sweetheart. Everything will be fine after that. This is actually saying you don't... Well, I've just sort of said two contradictory things, haven't I? Because some things you just have to stand up to, but it's also telling you not to deal with certain things. I guess it's like the karmic storm. Don't try and fix the karmic storm. You know, these Babylon's falling down. You can't actually prop it up. You just have to sort of look after yourself for the moment. So hexagram 18 is about repairing the damage. So I'm just guessing here that whatever this flood, whether it's a flood of emotional energy, whether it's a physical, actual 3D flood, whether it's a psychic flood, whatever this heavy energy is that you have to stand strong against, it passes, all is well, but then you've got some repair work to do. Right. So repair is, this hexagram has a timing thing. It's like 3 days before and then 3 days after. You have to do some repair work. Consider some repair work for 3 days. Do the work and then wait 3 days to make sure that the repairs worked properly. Like a sort of watching, that your repairs worked properly. I said it right the first time. Okay, so you've got moving line. Oh, let's move the moving line. Sorry, I've got to read the moving line for hexagram 28. Can't leave that out. The beam is braced. Auspicious. If you look for more support, you will regret it. Okay, so this is an important directive for you. Someone has come to your aid. The dangers of your situation have been mitigated through his efforts. Now you can handle things successfully. Danger. Do not try to take advantage of your benefactor's brotherly affection by insinuating further demands on him. Okay, so someone's helped you. Don't become a burden to them. Just take what they have to offer and be grateful for it. Right, that's saying why you are okay despite this storm is because someone has helped you. It could be God, as you know, God. Or God moving through another person. So you've been supported, but it's saying don't look for more support. So, someone helps you, don't ask them for more after that. Because it may have taken them more to give to you than you realise. Okay, and so you've got moving lines in hexagram 18. You've got hexagram moving line 1. It's called fixing in this here. So after all this goes down, you're going to need to repair something. Okay, it says here, for your moving line in the first place, the man fixes what his father ruined. If he is successful, the father escapes blame. Auspicious at the end, after peril. It says you rely too much on past principles. You are not reacting directly and honestly to the present situation. As time has passed, you have changed gradually, passively, and imperceptibly. Now you must actively change. You must refresh and reform your principles. After you establish fresh principles of action, you must act. Okay, so you've got to acknowledge the changes that you are not the same person who went into this storm. You're a different person now after you've been through everything you've just been through and having to say goodbye to someone who you really care about. And issues of justice, and obviously a lot of us have been stolen from, as we got in the last reading. It's all changed you. You're not the same person who went into this. So you've got to acknowledge that and refresh your approach accordingly. Maybe you don't want the same things that you wanted before now that you have new information. Okay. After you establish fresh principles of action, you must act. First, reform the structure of your life. It is a necessity, a highly precarious one. Okay, so this is not necessarily promising you it's going to be easy, but you have to do it anyway. Danger, carelessness. The changes you make will be far-reaching. The consequences of an unsuitable, thoughtless reformation can be disastrous. Right, so that's pretty serious. Now, line 4. The man overlooks what his father ruined. If you keep your course, you will regret it. Your situation has just begun to deteriorate. Your troubles have just begun to form. You are not yet convinced of their gravity and are too indecisive to make the changes called for by this hexagram. Unfortunately, things will have to get much worse before you are literally forced to take some action. So if you don't start the reform yourself, life is going to push you up to it. So it's not an option. You have to do some reform and repairs now to the structure of your life. It's basically saying you can try and ignore it, but that's not going to work because it's going to force you to take action. This is not an option. Your life needs reform and repairs now. Probably because of this big mess that's just happened here. All right. So line 6. The man sees nothing to be fixed. He remains aloof and cultivates his own spirit. It says you place little value on the situations and relationships that have been ruined. Do not try to deal with them. Confine yourself to the situations and relationships which do not cause conflict between yourself and others. Okay, so there's a lot of conflict here. Obviously, it's sort of all written into the background of the text. It keeps mentioning conflicts and personal relationships and stuff. It's just like, don't try and fix it, like the stuff that's been completely ruined. When it says there's point in knowing when something is beyond repair. I think it's like choosing which battles to fight. You're not going to have the energy to pull these karmics out of their bad choices. They've made their choices. I think this is what I woke up. I kept getting all day as I kept coming to do your reading and not getting there, and I just kept getting, you warned them 3 times and they didn't listen, and now they've got this mess and you can't fix it for them. It's not your job to fix it for them. Your job was to warn them. You warned them, they didn't listen. That's their mess now and their karma. It's a bit sad, some of it. You come out of this with great power. So I'm getting from, just this card just jumped at me again when I was looking at this repairs, is having to do shadow work here. I mean, the karmics are gonna, it's not fun for them. It's not fun for you either, but everything works out for you, my collective. But I think possibly some of the repair work you need to do is get these people who are causing conflict out of your life. If they've done something deliberately awful, don't give them a second chance. They don't, people don't tend to change that quickly. I'm not talking about accidentally awful. I'm talking about if they did something deliberately awful and they're stuck in a mess now. That's their mess. You don't have to fix it. You work on repairing your own life here. What you've had to endure is quite big by the looks of this hexagram 28, or what you will have to endure. It might be just the karmic's last rage out, their last attempt to drag you back into the fold or something. Anyway, it works out with you having great power. I will read some of that for you because it's a nice place to end, and I will pull you a few more cards. So great strength, it calls it. So you come out of this. Once you've done this shadow work, once you've stood up to this this greatness and excess, where everything comes at you at once, or even if it doesn't actually happen, it may feel like it. It might be just like having to make a lot of decisions in your head, stress or something like that. Or it could be literal flooding, or it could be just, you know, Babylon's going a bit crazy out there and you just need to look after number one for a bit. You have to do your shadow work. It all works out for you. You come out of this stronger. As sad as it is to say goodbye to someone here, you're coming out of this stronger. It says, this is a time of great influence for you. So all of this, it's like a stripping down and rebuilding twice. It's almost like twice. A two-stage strip down and rebuild, or, you know, like a strip and then wait and relax and then a big repair and then you're moving on or something. It's 2 or 4, you know, 2-part story. So after this big repair that's coming up that you cannot avoid, there's unavoidable repairs that you need to do, whether it's on the structure of your life or a physical thing that you have to deal with. It's unavoidable. After you do this repair, then you end up in a position of great influence. Your Tao is strong. It has external function as well as an internal force. Your direction is appreciated and followed by others. So this is all putting you where you're supposed to be. Caution, do not abuse this influence. One abuse would be to consciously take advantage of those under your influence. This would be clearly and unequivocally corrupt. So yeah, that's the next test, is not to be corrupted by the power and influence that's coming to you. So you get through this one set of tests here, and then your next thing is actually dealing with, like, success has its own tests, and that's what it's kind of talking about. Not to become tempted by corruption of using people, using your power unfairly, abusing your power. Okay, you can also abuse your influence by failing to recognize it. Do not, through any false modesty or neurotic self-depreciation or for any other reason, ignore your own power. This not only denies your own Tao, but also unfair to those whom you influence. Your proper position is in the center. So whatever this is all about, it's putting you in the center of some sort of influence.